Yeah,
Hello,
what's up,
ladies and
guys?
gentlemen.
Hello.
Matt, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Abs. I'm great. Welcome to the circus that is OCL. And Abs, exciting little set to start us off here. It is Threats versus BGF, and this is interesting because Threats are the non-relegated team. They were straight through because they had maintained a roster of at least three people from last season when finishing in the finals. So we haven't seen these guys, but of course, technically, we have seen them in the past couple of seasons. Um, could be an interesting matchup. What are your thoughts about this?
I like Threats team. I do like that they were able to go straight through. I feel bad for the boys because they haven't really had a chance to have play in the OCL season 4 as of yet. Is this maybe their first game because they have skipped that relegation stage? They're straight into week 1, and this is finally their first week of play. So it'd be great to see them in action. I'm really excited to see what kind of picks and bans and how they play, who they play through. There's a lot of stuff that we can kind of analyze tonight, so I'm really excited to see how it all plays out. On the other side, though, BGF, we've seen them, I believe, once in the relegations. They got through on their first stage of relegations, so it'll be interesting to see how they go tonight. Lath, what do you think of BGF?
Yeah, well, a pretty out of the blue team. Obviously, one of the members of that team recently unbanned, brought back into the league. Um, we personally, obviously, we're the ones who played them in the relegation, so we've seen them firsthand. We know what they're capable of. A pretty solid team. I am excited to see how they go up against threats. I can confirm that they are using a sub tonight. Melbs is in to ADC. Benzilla 247 obviously away somewhere, not too sure where he's at, but it will be Melbs stepping in for the Supreme Leader of OCE. Will be interesting to see just how well this team goes with the sub. I'm not sure how much they've played with Melbs. I know that Carter and Melbs go a long way back to the days of PS4. I've known those guys for years and years and years now, so um, hopefully a bit of backline synergy between the mid and the ADC with those two. Will be very interesting to see how that goes.
I'm excited to see what Melbs can do. I've had a lot of playtime with Melbs myself in season 2 of the OCL, so seeing what he can bring to this team in the meantime while Ben is out will be interesting. I think that him and Weave can do a lot. We know Weave to be a very strong veteran player. I would almost say that he is one of, if not the controlling force in that team, calling a lot of the plays. Obviously, you can do a lot from that support position, so I'm excited to see what they can do tonight to the threats. Obviously we have Wax and Solo, Juki in jungle, Carter in mid. There's a lot of strong players on this team. I think that they can really bring it to the boys of threats, and I'm excited to see what they can do to kind of counter the by gravity finance wave right now.
Yeah, and as far as their opponents go on the other side, we do have threats. As we said before, returning champions for the most part. Sean obviously taking a step out, and I'm pretty sure Vintage as well was playing with them last year. But the roster that they're currently running is their winning roster from season 2, I think. Smelly Frenchman into the solo lane in place of it's your boy Sean. Um, Obviously this team goes way back. These guys have been around for eons now. They know their way around a smite game or two, so very interesting to see how they will go. Sean stepping out, Roy coming back in.
I like what they've kind of done. In terms of the OCL, I think being able to split that strong of a roster up and having a competitive arena of sorts is fantastic for the entire region. So I'm really excited to see how those two teams play out. But we are focusing on threats and BGF tonight. So obviously we look at this screen right here, and everyone gets scared because there's so many strong players here. Again, I'm going to look at the supports here. Shank, a very strong player in the OCL. I don't think anyone's going to be able to turn up his skill. Very fantastic player. He's got Chompy next to him in the carry role. We've seen him with a lot of funky picks, and you know what? He does well on them. So I'm sure they can translate some of that pressure out into mid, in which we have Tilly. also a very strong player. I don't think there's a single bad thing I could say about any of these players on the threat side. So, wow, yeah, I'm still scared looking at all their names, Lath. I'm worried. I'm worried for BGF.
I'm sorry, I'm still going back there. When you said Chompy in the carry role, I thought you said Chompy in the curry role.
Curry.
And
Well, maybe he is indulgent in the arts. Who knows?
to be fair though, Chompy is known for bringing the spice, so maybe we could call it the curry roll over there for Chompy and ADC. But yeah, you are right. A very very potent team, and very excited to see how this set goes. I think we're about to pick some bands here.
I'm really excited to see how these picks and bans go. Obviously, again, we haven't seen the threats picks and bans. Will be knowledge for everyone in OCE. I wonder how By Gravity will want to draft into this threats team as we see a Ganesh ban from the threats. Perhaps not. There's a bit of a visual glitch. Instead, it is a Guan Yu ban, which is much more relevant to what we see normally.
Yeah, the Guan Yu makes a lot of sense, I suppose. It is being played a lot. There are a lot of really strong solo laners getting around right now. A lot of solo lane bans going around. Maybe we'll see a Hercules come out as well. Who knows? But that is the Guan Yu gone for now. Hebo on the other side, the Water God is quite potent right now, and especially in the hands of Simply. Simply is one who has been known to run this Hebo, so I'm glad to see that BGF have done their research. As Nox, the next ban for threats. I'm not too sure I've seen much of the Weave Nox. So I don't know if maybe threats know something I don't know, or maybe they're just banning meta. But either way, an interesting ban.
We have to think, in that case, maybe Shank does not want to play the Nox and he does not want to give it to By Gravity. So they say, hey, let's get rid of Nox. Obviously, a very meta defining character right now. One of, if not the best mage support in Conquest right now. So very intense. As we see, Marticarus also banned. In the same vein, he is very much a meta controlling character. He can flex very well into that carry and mid lane. So 2 carry roles banned from By Gravity. Really don't want to see them rolling over some of these other teams. So good to see them being banned. As hell, another one of the major ports also being banned from threats.
Yeah, I wonder what the thinking is there. A pretty big focus on the healing and the mage supports coming out of threats. Not too sure if there's anything specific, or maybe they're just banning what they think are strong gods right now. As it appears to be Circuit is the final ban. Abs, what have we got open here? There's still quite a few strong gods on the table right now.
Ooh, I see a few things. One of them, Vamana, obviously, I'm going to say it again, the probably biggest pick in Smite, maybe. He's seen a lot of nerfs lately. We saw him in another set of the OCL last week. We've seen him in the SBL. Not surprised to see him be first picked. He can definitely do a lot of work in many roles. Bakashura and Rama also being hovered for By Gravity. I think there's a big emphasis on carry roles right now, as all 3 picks on the board right now can do that exact thing. So maybe both teams really wanted to get ahead of the curve before a lot of the tankier picks are shown in picks and bans here. So be interesting to see what threats kind of do to counter these picks so far. Umoja probably a pretty good one to start.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit odd that there were so many of the frontline, the tanky gods being banned in regards to, these mage supports and the Guan Yu, just for carry roles to then be picked. So I thought that was a bit odd, but picking up the Emoja in this point for Shank, he's an absolute menace on this pick. No purple buff is safe whenever Shank Moja is around. So I'm a really big fan of this top 3 from threats. But thus far, I'm also a very big fan of By Gravity Finance's top 2.
I think so. I think if they can draft something with a little more crowd control or something to just kind of slow down these team fights so the carriers can really do some work, Baba Yaga is not someone I'd see picked, but she could work for their mage role at least. Hachiman, also a very strong pick. He's probably one I expected to be picked in the first 2 picks in this game, but he has come through in the first phase. So so far, I'm giving this to Threats. They have 2 of their 3 core mid players. Vamana very strong in his lane. Be interesting to see how By Gravity kind of answer that. We still see the Hercules open, so I want to see that either picked or banned in this next phase. But it'll be interesting to see. Lath, what is the next call on your next ban? Go.
Well, BGF should have the first initial ban. I think you probably want to start looking at mid laners, right? With By Gravity already having their mid laner, they got that Baba Yaga. There's still heaps on the table here. The Tiamat, the Merlin, very standard mages getting around. Tilly is a very, very good Morrigan player as well. You've already got the Vamana. Could be pretty damaging if you see a Morrigan, Vamana, 2 big babies, uns. Could be kind of curtains for BGF, so could be a pretty decent ban. But I'd say that for BGF, I'd be looking at these mage bans right now.
Yeah, I definitely think that Threats could look to uns with the double Vamana. I like that, Lath. Morrigan is a very strong pick, and why not use the power that By Gravity Finance have drafted so far against them? Threats have a lot of strong picks, and as we speak, Lath, you did fantastically on that pop quiz question. Morrigan has been banned, so well done.
There you go. It is the Morrigan ban, followed by the Cthulhu. Not going to let BGF grab that one. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I wonder where this Vamana is going. I wonder if, because I have seen Smelly Frenchman run this Vamana very, very well in the past. So this could be a solo, it could be a jungle. It makes it very hard for BGF to decide on what they want their ban to be. So I'd have to think that another mage ban is on the cards here, as Terra is taken away by Threats.
The Wax Lulu is also been taken away from them. We see Wax Python and a lot of Guardian solos, so we've seen one of them go down from him. Still, Hercules still open, so I'd love to see him being picked. Aside from that, Thor is also going down from By Gravity. They really want to lock this Vamana into the solo lane. Vamana, a very strong pick, obviously, because he can flex into at least 2 roles in Conquest so far. So we see Zongqi hovered for By Gravity, which is very interesting as they already have a mid laner. So it could be... Nope. There it is. A Guardian solo for Wax.
Yeah, the Jormungandr. I think we pretty much any time that we've seen scrims, he's pretty much always just running this one pick. So not too surprising to see it come out here. I'm not a solo laner, so I don't know how good this pick is. I don't think it's very good myself. Obviously, you being the solo laner probably know a lot better than me. I think it's just kind of hard to kill, and that's about all there is to Yorm.
I think Yorm has a slight amount of pressure in solo, but aside from that, I don't really see what he brings. It's not really a good thing to have your tanky, beefy solo laner in the air during a team fight. So we'll have to see what Wax can do with that. On the other side, we do see Threats pick up the Naja and the Ra, so a very strong combination. Obviously, being able to win Fire Wheels the Baba Yaga into a Searing Pain from Ra is going to be Searing Pain. So, wow.
This is one of the classic combos. The Naja Ra double ultimate combo. This one goes back a long time. It's so cheesy. It's hella cheesy, but I love seeing these sorts of picks come out.
I think it's safe. I think it's easy to put someone in the air and Ra ult them. And why not try and can that with a Geb? I don't know if anyone else can kind of stop those shenanigans as well as someone like Geb. So hopefully Weave is able to save some of his teammates as they're picked up by Windfire Wheels. It'll be interesting. I'm really excited for this game.
Well, Abs, with the Geb locked in, judging off the picks, who are you going for? Who do you think has come away with the better draft here?
Personally, I don't see Emoja in any bad draft. I'm giving this to Threats. I think that they have the right amount of crowd control. They can hold someone together for a long time. a dominant solo lane, a nice support, a nice easy combo in mid. I think that they have a lot of pressure around the map. So I'm going to have to give it to Threats.
Yeah, look, I think I have to agree. Um, I like it when casters pick different, but yeah, I'm loving this draft. I love the emoji. I love the Hachiman. I love the classic wombo combo of the Naja Ra. It's super hard to go past what threats are brought, but I do think Gravity have some very strong win cons. Their three carries between the Bakasura, the Rama, Baba Yaga. Come late game, all three of those picks are going to be unsing. So I am keen to see this game get a bit late, especially with that Geb. That Geb, if you get late game, he's such a hard god to kill. He just keeps carries alive forever, and very, very strong crowd control in the team fight. So I'm excited to see this game go a little bit late.
I would like to see it go late because I agree with you there, Lath, that we have three very strong picks on Gravity that can do that exact thing, just throw out their damage and get a kill. So I would have liked to see a bit more crowd control being drafted for them to make it a bit easier for them early in the mid game. But hey, if they're able to bring it late, I'm all for it. We do love to see a 100 to 0 Naja Windfire Wheels, so I'd love to see that at least one game. That's on my bingo card this game. But aside from that, I'm hoping this goes late for Gravity. I think they might need it.
Yeah, I would love to see maybe a couple of crit items come out of this Naja just so those Windfire Wheels can really deal some damage. But anyway, I think we're just about ready to get into the game here.
It's a bit dark in here, Lath.
Yeah, it's a little bit dark in here. I might need to just turn my eyes on.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just blink a few times and we set. Oh, hold on. Oh, dude, I forgot to take my eye drops this morning. This is hard, man.
Yeah, no, dude, I'm wearing my blackout sunglasses right now. I can't really tell what's going on in the game.
I do have a hereditary problem with my eyes, so I'm sorry, guys, but I think we might need to get onto my mum and dad for being able to giving me these bad eye genes. I can't see in the dark right now. Hold on, I've just found my eye drops. Here we go. We are in game from Threats, versus BGF. We're back. Hello.
Hello, welcome. We are your casters for this game. And once again, if you missed it, I am Lath. I'm joined by Abs, and Abs, a bit of an interesting draft coming out from BGF. I both like it and hate it. I think there are certain aspects that are very strong, very potent. I do think though that this Threats draft is so good with the classic Ra Naja. I've said it before. I cannot wait to see what these guys do with this. It's so cheesy, but it's just always fun to see.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it works, it works. Why not swap that up? Nice ring toss onto the Bastions in mid lane from Simply. Nicely done. Lath, why need to throw it over when we could just throw it to ourselves? Let's throw it back. We are on today, so really excited to see how this game goes. One Bastion already going down in mid. Simply looking for a stun. Juki jumping in to put the pressure on. Interesting.
Yeah, I think I think Tuki's very lucky to get away with his life there. I'm surprised that Tilly didn't turn around there and just try and throw a couple of autos in and keep Dookie in the hunt for that kill. Butcher Blades had worn off as Wax gets...
Wax!
Oh, Smelly Frenchman gets super low. You were saying before that this Yorm does get pressure. It's kind of what you pick it for. So we are seeing him exert his pressure there. And I mean, there's only 2 crowd controls for this Vamana, and one of them's a knockup. And guess what? That Yorm is immune to knockups, as I've just realized. Simply cannot ult Yorm. Absolutely outdrafted. He has been beaten by the draft. Wax with the Giga Brain. But to be fair, I suppose that you don't really want your Naja ulting your solo laner, right?
Well, I mean, probably not. Maybe they want to play through solo, maybe not. Naja probably not the pick into Yorm, which is probably why the Yorm was picked. So then they couldn't gain the solo advantage. But hey, we have seen Wax in a lot of these tankier solo laners, so maybe he's just done it just for this game. But Simply and Juki throwing hands in the solo lane. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do want to put pressure on this solo lane. Blue buffs are coming up. BGF looking to farm that off the map. No worries.
Yeah, well, I mean, one of those things with the Guardian solo laners is that they really struggle without that blue buff early. You know, Guardians historically don't have great clear. So if you take away their ability to regenerate mana, that extra little bit of cooldown, it just becomes a really hard task for them. As this is what I was hinting to earlier. Oh my god, Shank gets it. Shank has stolen the purple buff.
Oh, how did he do that? And he gets away with it.
I was saying earlier on the desk that Shank on this Yamoja is an absolute menace. No purple buff is safe as we see it right there on the first purple buff respawn. So tough to watch.
Is it a Shank diff? Is he could just walk? He just walks up to that purple buff with no worries in the world, and he's not even worried about his life. He could just do that, throw over a bubble, and it's as easy as that. That's a purple buff. You're right, Lath. No purple buff is safe. I'm gonna have to be starting warding my Chua lane. Even in solo, I'm gonna have to ward it, so that he doesn't do that. He's a criminal. He's stealing everything.
Yeah, Shank is a well-known criminal as the Rivers Rebuke comes out, traps in both dual lane members. A lot of damage coming out onto the rock, and it looks like he could go down. Good knock up, but Chompy does secure the first blood. Threats on the board as Melb's just trying to get away here, and the ultimate comes out. Judgment on the horse is a lot of damage, but not quite enough to secure that kill. As first blood goes down, the rock falls, and Shank, again, just being a menace. Says, oh, hang on.
Whoa.
Where was that?
That was, Hey, maybe we need to secure that farm. Tilly for doing that. Unfortunately, we do see Weave fall first. I think Shank and Chompy have a lot of pressure here, so why not use it as we see Wax ulting the totem, as well as...
Oh, that is the blink regurgitate out of Dookie. Smelly Frenchman will go down, as that was a very weird interaction of watching the two soul laners ulting for totem. Obviously, their teams screaming at them, saying that they're out of mana, and just pinging Solidif in the chat as another little scuffle here. Home Sweet Home forced out of Carter, but I don't think they're going to get this kill on him. Weave is just going to roll away, and looks like these left mids. That's a very awkward little couple of encounters. A lot of ultimates used for neutral farm.
This is season 4 of the Smite OCL, so hey, let's throw in a few awkward encounters. The mid lane creeps have been picked up by threats, so that's good to see them pick it up. Having a lot of pressure in this left-hand side of the map. Obviously, Shank stealing that purple buff, getting the first kill on Weave. Really want to still translate this pressure over, as green buff has also been taken by Simply, level 7 for both junglers. So we don't really see much of a deviance in Golden XP so far, but I won't be surprised if threats are able to pick up this purple buff. We see a bit more, there it is, of a lead translating into this game.
Yeah, but this is really good from Dookie, though, to split the map. He's going to get not only the red buff, but the speed buff from Simply. We'll pick that one up. Not only that, but because of that eye of the jungle, he now has vision in the lower half of Threat's jungle. So, good little rotation by him. Knew that he couldn't do much to save that purple and green. Fine farm on the map. Really heads up play from the jungle for BGF.
Good to pick it up, as they also pick up the cooldown buff in the solo lane, trying to give Wax a bit more of that pressure in this lane. He is also a level ahead, or at least half a level ahead of Smelly Frenchman in that solo lane. So maybe the Yorm is to play Lath. Maybe we've been reading this wrong. Obviously safe from Windfire Wheels from Simply. So, hey, if it's working, it's working. Good man.
Yeah, maybe BGF just have the tech and we haven't quite caught up to it yet. So we'll have to wait and see how that one plays out. He does have a little bit of a lead in that solo lane. Other than that, they're relatively even across the board. Not a great difference in gold. Only 200 or so in the way of BGF. And that's after Threat's got the first blood too. So good to see that they are playing the map really well. Shank.
You go there.
Shank's back for this Bell buff again. Oh no, Purwell's already down. Never mind. There's Gold Fury, maybe the target. Hang on. Blink in, Windfire Wheels comes out, and I believe that was Doogie sent to the air as... Oh my god. We love seeing that combo. Searing Pain, back off the... Oh, hang on. Rivers Butte comes out. The Rock has no chance of surviving that one. Same as King Carter. The house will fall. Hutchman gets on the horse, runs into that backline. Ram takes to the air, but... 4-man strong of threats, hanging around waiting for him to come down. It's more like who's going to steal this kill here, and it will be Tilly on the laser chicken. He skills that one with a little bit of a beam, and this has to be a Gold Fury call, I would assume.
nobody wants to land down into 4 members of threats, and unfortunately, Melbs is going to falling down, as well as the Gold Fury is likely going to fall. No one able to jump over from BGF, as it does fall 2 threats. So, wow, what a quick skirmish so far from the threats. I think they've been able to translate a lot of this duo pressure out from the first purple invade. Shank really putting his pressure into the left-hand side of the jungle, and it's showing.
That is another Blink Regurgitate coming out, and oh, hang on, Carter, he yanks that over the wall. I'm not too sure what it was. I'm not sure if that was a potion. Either way, yeah, it does definitely look like that was a potion. As BGF turn a kill back, not too bad to take out Tilly, give him a little spill, and Dookie doesn't look like he's finished. Running into the backline here is Shank decides to turn it around and is now just chasing Dookie through the jungle. We've kind of hanging around just to chill out a little bit. As a little bit of a circus going in here from the boys.
I think Shank just wants some stacks, man. Give him some stacks. He's got, I believe, 10 of those cloak stacks. So hey, he's getting them for free. He can get them. Why not?
Oh, look at that. Just beautiful heads-up play from Shank just to keep the minions out of tower, get Tilly back in. And a very interesting start to this game. There was a pretty decent swing after that. Looks like 1,400 gold now in the way of threats after that. 2 or 3 kills plus the Gold Fury. XP seems relatively even across the right-hand side of the map, but that duo lane is starting to fall behind a little bit from BGF.
I think it's just, again, the pressure that Shank's been able to push on this lane and those purple buffs. Melb's obviously having it hard being a sub in this game. He does know what the threats put on to BGF. It's been hard for him to really put pressure in his lane as he's still being pushed out. Shank, again, I don't know how many times I've said it, Lath. Shank on this left-hand side of the map, putting on so much pressure, and it's really starting to translate. We did see the Windfire Wheel Searing Pain combo in that left-hand team fight, and it won them the fight handily. So very interesting to see what BGF are going to do to start countering this comp. I do only see about a 1,200 gold lead, 1,300 gold lead for threats. So 3 kills up, both mid bastions and a Gold Fury, and only 1,300 gold up. Very interesting. BGF are doing well to stem the bleeding here.
Yeah, it looks like they were trying to go for a pyro as Shank is just still here. Melbs is not having a good time. Beads is used and the Remover's Boot comes out. Rum does go to the air. There is a Riptide waiting and a man on a horse as Shank decides, yep, you know what? You've had a couple, Chompy, it's mine. Never mind. Shank's on a killing spree. That is 3 kills to the support. And, oh no, not only that, but Searing Pain also secures the Pyromancer on the right side. So Threats just wins across the board.
As I just said, there was a 1,300 gold lead. Now we have almost a 3,000 gold lead. Quickly picked up for Threats. They just doubled what they just had from that quick Searing Pain onto the Pyromancer. Kill on Melbs. I don't know if I've ever wanted to face a Riptide mounted archery combo, but here we are. We've seen it. Again, the purple buff is taken by Shank. Again. It's going to keep happening. I really want to see some wars out from BGF. Really stop this. I don't even know if wars are going to stop it at this point, Lap. I'm scared if I'm BGF.
Yeah, I think it may be a little bit too late for the wards, but I am very happy to see that Dookie has decided to turn his attention to the other side of the map. He's kind of just given up that duo lane for dead. He's like, yeah, boys, that's all you.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. Oh, no, that's just tragic for Dookie.
That is tragic.
It does come in. To be fair, that ability out of Amana, that second one, the Armored Umbrella, I believe it's called. Oh, hang on. Blink Ultimate. Regurgitate's too much for Smelly Frenchman. Dookie's like, you know what? You take my blue buff, I'll take your life, homie. And he takes him down.
He does it handily. That was easy. Quick blink, Regurgitate. Took back the blue buff, Wax, so Wax might go and pick that up real easy. But hey, Juki hated that blue invade. He does have the Eat minion for a reason. He wasn't able to use it, but he does use it on the BGF side of the map. So I agree with what you're saying, Laf. I do like that Juki's really trying to put some pressure on this blue side, and he did succeed in that stance. So hopefully that they can translate to sort of some more easy kills and get BGF into the late game where they shine the most.
Yeah, unfortunately, and the issue is that Threats are strong arming this duo side, and you can see that Primal Fury instantly started up as well here. No one really close. The rock is rolling in. Maybe gives Melbs enough time. Searing Pain comes out, doesn't secure, but Threats will still find it. Unfortunately, the Searing Pain wasn't around to follow up on the Windfire and Wheels, but a great Cataclysm almost gets Weave out, and Dookie is now low. The Mana Cavalry enough to take him down, and Chompy with the double kill finds Melvs on the back end too. Oh, hang on a second. The big baby has rotated out. Home Sweet Home, not quite enough to keep Carter alive, and Wax has also made the rotation in, but I don't think there's much he's going to be able to do to 4-5 strong of threats.
They're just falling like dominoes. Falling like dominoes. First the Gold Fury, then Weave, then Juki, then Melbs, then Carter. It's as simple as that for threats. Wax ulting in mid, trying to get some of those minions before his tier 1 tower might fall. Threats putting on some pressure onto this tier 1 tower.
Yeah, the Yorm trying his best just to clear those minions out. That way the tower can't go, but unfortunately it wasn't quite enough. Tier 1 does fall in mid, and that drastically opens this map up for threats to start looking even more into these invades as simply straight over that purple buff. That will fall once again. Melbs just not having a great time. My man just wants his buff, and it doesn't look like threats are going to let him have it.
This is why I can never play ADC or carry Lathbies, because this is what would happen to me. I'd play sub for a team, and my purple buffs would get stolen on repeat. So this is why I stick over in that solo lane. Threats easily farming their side of the map after an easy win. I'd really want to see BGF keep up with those wards on the right-hand side of the map, getting ready for that Pyromancer. Someone needs to control this Ra and make sure he's not able to Searing Pain that again. Juki able to secure that blue buff. Smelly Frenchman not able to control Bakashura just yet.
Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly how he managed to secure that, because I swear he was in the air when that fell. I thought that it was actually Smelly Frenchman who secured that, but maybe he was halfway through eating the minion or something, as everyone is here. Simply blinks in, Windfire and Wheels, but a beautiful Home Sweet Home from Carter does stop that crowd control from going off on him, and Dookie's in the back line. Rivers of Butte comes out. A lot of pain put onto very different members. Hang on a second though. Dookie decides to step back up to eat a minion, and the Mana Cavalry is enough to send him down, and Chompy is diving the backline. This rock is getting super low. I don't think he will not. Chompy goes on the rampage. That's 5 strong for the ADC of threats, and I think this is a Fire Giant call. Shanky's going to start it.
I think that they can do it handily. The amount of ults we've just seen from BGF, only 2 left, with 1 being in the grey screen and Melvs being on the outside of the map. I don't think anyone's going to be able to contest this, maybe except a Barbie Yaga potion, but the threats do pick up the Fire Giant. 15 minutes in, they are 9 kills up, and it looks like they are about 7k gold lead, just under 6. So, hey, they're really putting the threat onto this map.
Yeah, it's looking like it's starting to spiral a little bit for BGF. The boys need to just reset, just come back, think about what they want to do. Smelly Frenchman's decided to get on this purple buff invade. I think he's over here in the duo lane. No, that's the run back. I'm not too sure what he's doing here. Because I have spotted something very interesting. The Baba Yaga does have a prophetic cloak, and it has 22 stacks in it.
Well, I think Shank needs to really step up his game. He's only 7-8 stacks ahead. Oh, no, never mind. Now he's ahead with 22. 12. Oh my numbers, I can't see. I need my eye drops.
Is that 12 or 22? No, that's a 22. The Baba Yaga is ahead, but of course we do know that the Baba Yaga passive allows her to stack items for free whenever she goes a certain distance away from the house. When she comes back in, that house gives her a couple little stacks. As I think there was a bomb used on the tier 1 in solo.
Bomb used on the tier 1. Hey, well, it's a quick 500 goal for the team, so why not? Shank, I think, putting a lot of pressure onto this purple buff, not able to get some of those prophetic stack cloaks from a purple buff. So, good job from Carter to pick that up. He's going to make him a lot tankier with the siege from threats. So, maybe he will survive the Windfire Wheels Searing Pain combo that they've got. Gold Fury has spawned again. They're looking to really put the pressure on mid lane. BGF looking to put pressure on this tier 1 tower.
BGF do have the oracles, so if this is started up, which it is, they do know about it, but I don't think they really have the steal potential. Ram goes to the air for the Astral Barrage. It's not enough to out-secure the Searing Pain though. Only Fury goes down, and Dookie is caught in a bit of an awkward position. Manages to leap over that wall. Luckily, the Najak can't follow that. This could be a tier 2 push in left for threats though.
I think that they have Fire Giant. They're able to take this handily. Melv's not really able to do much, especially with that team on this left-hand side. The most valuable side furthest away from the Fire Giant, so good on threats for really putting on pressure on this side of the map. Tilly's still in mid, trying to put some pressure on into King Carter and Juki, as he is aggressed on.
Oh, that was a blink double ult. Both relics used out of Tilly. The laser chicken does not survive. Actually, I am incorrect. The beads were not used, just the Aegis. As looks like the chase is on. Dookie has no chance of surviving the 4 strong of threats, and they're looking for this Baba Yaga. They're not done yet.
Hey, I think that they can run. Why not run if they have a chance to get away, as it's completely pulled threats away from the towers of the map while that fire giant doesn't run out. They might have just missed him.
That was such a heads-up play from Carter. He pre-beads and then went in to his blast-off, I believe the ability is called, that leap. Obviously, the armillary sash, if it is up for simply on the Najjar, he can stun him out of that leap, and then it's kind of just coffins for the Baba Yaga. Pre-beads, goes into the blast-off, leaps the wall, and instantly starts backing, and Smelly Frenchman, none the wiser, walks straight past the red buff, and Carter survives.
And that's Fire Giant for threats. 2 tier 2 towers, tier 1 tower in right. Hey, that's a bit of gold for him. Why not put some wards out now? Start getting a bit more of the pressure out. Simply looking to put some pressure out on King Carter. They're really showing this threats comp. I'm really excited to see how they've done this so far. I think they've really translated a lot of their pressure from that purple buff onto the other side of the map. They're gearing up for this next Fire Giant.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of hard for the boys on BGF when, you know, Chompy gets such a big lead because of what Shank's doing over there in the duo lane, and then Chompy just kind of rotates, and he keeps rotating, and he's at every fight. I mean, he's part of 12 of the 13 kills so far, as simply goes in, sends Dookie to the sky with the Windfire and Wheels. This could be... Oh, it's not quite enough damage, but the amount of cavalry comes in. Chompy sends it on a Dookie. I think a shell came out from the Gev there, not quite enough to keep the jungler alive, as it Searing Pain does hit the Baba Yaga, and the Rivers Rebuke comes out, but the house is able to walk out, but he's being chased, and he cannot get away till he gets the kill right as Fire Giant's spawning, and I think this is going to be another Fire Giant the way of threats, and probably a Pyromancer on the back end too.
Chompy's going to be able to pick up this Pyromancer. You're right, Lath. Simple stuff for the boys. Looking straight towards this Fire Giant. I'm surprised that we can say this is the second Fire Giant. 20 minutes into the game. Threats really putting on the pressure in this game. I do want to shout out Wax. He has not died in this game yet. I'm really proud of how he's done in this lane. He's stayed very much even with Smelly Frenchman, so well done to him there. All 4 of the kills from By Gravity Finance have gone to Juki. So I'm glad that they've been able to give these kills to the jungler. I think he's their best hope of really bringing this game back. I think they can do without putting pressure onto this Fire Giant. They really need to look at defending these towers. Oh no. Dead. That was some damage, Abs. Holy, the Deathbringer is online for the Najjar, and it shows there. Essentially just won it. I have to think that Armillary Sash crit on the... Wait, no, can it still crit, or did they change it? I believe it can. It can crit.
Yeah, well, the crit came out, followed by the Windfire on Wheels as Smelly Frenchman is trying to chase Melbs down. I don't think he can survive this.
He might be able to run away from it, as the threats have put pressure onto this right Phoenix. Searing Pain come out. Wax Python really trying to control the front line of BGF out of this tower. Smelly Frenchman does pick out Melbs. Wax Python still putting on pressure, still in the air. That right bird is still standing. I want to see threats keep putting on the pressure onto this Phoenix.
Yeah, a lot of damage coming out of the Yorm. Unfortunately, though, Tilly does have the healing on the Ra. Plus the Fire Giant, plus the Yamoja. There is a lot of sustain. Threats can really take their time here as simply got trapped inside. I didn't even notice that. He takes his first spill of the game. King Carter gets on the board. But hang on a second. Smelly Frenchman has made the rotation and he doesn't have that ultimate. Used it against Melbs on the duo side, and Dookie piling in the damage, but Smelly Frenchman returning a lot more. And hang on, the Meta Cavalry comes out from Chompy into the backline. Searing Pain doesn't connect. I love just seeing Chompy. All of these team fights, he keeps just popping up out of nowhere and just full sends it, gets on the horse.
Hey, he's got a horse, why not use it? Really putting on pressure onto the right bird. BGF done an excellent job of holding out from that said pressure from threats. So they're looking to pick up some farm before the next siege. Fire Giant is almost running out for the threats. So I wonder if they're going to change up their strategy here and try for a different approach, as maybe the fight in right not going to work out for him. BGF recognizing that all members from Threats have backed, picking up a free Primal Fury for the boys. Only, what's that, 9k down. Well done.
Yeah, I do like that. That's a heads-up play. I got to assume that was Weave on the call. He seems to have been there well ahead of everyone. I'm not too sure why the Home Sweet Home was used out of Carter. I guess maybe a bit of burn potential, but either way, Primal Fury does fall, mitigating a little bit of that gold lead, but it's still almost 10k at 23 minutes. It's a tough one. It is really hard for BGF. There is a couple of towers still left on the map that they can, bring that gold lead back, but I do think that they are going to have to be looking for sieges here, but it's a rough time for the boys. They're getting to a bit of an awkward stage of the game. Blinken, oh no, Windfire on Wheels misses, but the Sash does catch out the blast off, and Smelly Frenchman going into the back line. Knock-up comes out from Weave, but the baby is now big. Searing Pain, don't think it connects with anyone, but the Mounted Cavalry does a little bit of damage. Weave, good Cataclysm, gets all 5, I'm pretty sure. Gets the beads out of, I think it was Najar, but unfortunately he does take a spill there, and Threats could be looking for this bird, but with that Fire Giant coming up, I have to assume they're falling back for it. Third Fire Giant of the game, Abs.
Wow, at 24 minutes, they've really maximized the amount of time this Fire Giant's been up, and picking up another Pyromancer, simple stuff for the boys. I don't really know what else Weave can do in that situation. I don't think he was too far up. I think the amount of pressure that Threats were able to bring onto that mid bird is insane. Fire Giant easily being started. Smelly Frenchman putting on pressure onto Juki, doing a lot of damage actually, just by trying to clear the wave. Picking up that Fire Giant, and they're going to back for more pressure, as Smelly Frenchman maybe not in the right mentality, as he's blinking over the wall and he's dying. He's dead. He just died.
Yeah, a little bit of an int for the solo laner, I'm not going to lie. Obviously, without the big baby form available, he's blinked straight into 3 people. Dookie just decides to throw up on him, and that's coffins for the solo laner of Threats and the Fire Giant buff on him.
Especially without a big baby form, I think maybe not the smartest idea, but hey, I think he has faith in his team to be able to pick up a bird at least from this Fire Giant. We might see the next Fire Giant, if it does indeed go to that, to be a enhanced Fire Giant. So, wow, I'm excited to see what happens.
I'm not going to lie, Abs, at this point, I don't think it will be. I think that there will be a 4th Fire Giant taken before it goes enhanced. Jets have been on the ball for it, and I mean, they've got about, 2.5 minutes left, 2 minutes left on the actual buff, 3 minutes before it respawns. I wouldn't be surprised if we see 4 Fire Giants go down without being enhanced.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think that it's around that kind of time. It will really depend on how the next, if not next 2 team fights go. Threats putting on pressure onto this left bird. Smelly Frenchman in mid lane, maybe looking for a teleport, as he has teleported to the left-hand side of the map. Simply putting on pressure in mid. I want to see how this goes for Threat boys.
Well, we have seen the chalice popped and the big baby form comes out. Roy is in the back line, smacking, trying for the aunts, but hang on a second. Regurgitate comes out into the Threat's back line. Dookie falls down low. Shank does manage to get that kill. I think it was the River's Rebuke coming down that secures it. But all this time, the mid Phoenix has gone down. Melbs does, however, pick up the kill on the Chompy. I'm not too sure. That must have been the Astral Barrage, but simply he's got the flank here, but he's electing to go for the bird. I don't think he's got the damage with these backdoor protections, and he does decide to leave. Wax on the hunt for Tilly, but I don't think he's going to catch this laser chicken.
I don't think he can. The boys not defending their left Phoenix, not able to be picked up by Simply, as he's still kind of dancing around the boys of the BGF still, and he's able to get out. It's as simple as that, ladies and gentlemen. Juke shoes are on.
Yeah, Simply does have the movement here. He's getting away as a bit of a scuffle in mid still. Beads used by Melbs, and Weave on the chase, but hang on. Tilly's come in from the back line. This could be very dangerous for the BGF boys. Searing Pain, not quite on the mark. Melbs does manage to get away to the side. That Stone Shield does give a little bit of health. Oh, a good double beam out of Tilly, and...
Oh.
Is that a blink?
Might have been a blink.
No. It was just the 3. But
Dang.
Unfortunately, Weave does go down as well. Regurgitate. Dookie does turn the kill back onto Simply, but the Colossal Fury comes out. Hang on a second. That's a double kill to Dookie, and Smelly Frenchman has the damage turn. Wax has gone into that World Serpent. Smelly Frenchman manages to get the Juke Shoes away.
Oh!
Just avoids the spit. Jeez, what a fight from the boys of BGF.
They were able to turn that so quickly as Wax Python Z will fall to Chompy. Hey, Lath, the Fire Giant is coming up in about a minute. We might see it not be enhanced. I don't know. I don't know about you, but it might not be.
We may see a fourth non-enhanced Fire Giant go down. Chompy is in the area. Carter, Dookie, the only ones around right now, but Weave and Melbs are coming back up. Duo lane for BGF will be there. That mid-jungle duo from Threats, though, still have 10 seconds. BGF could maybe get into position for this Fire Giant, or looks like they're going to decide to go for the Primal Fury instead. Home Sweet Home once again used just to secure the Primal Fury.
I think that's fair. They don't really have the information on where any of the Threats boys are. They might have seen Roy in their back lane teleport to that left lane ward, which is a bit strange, but hey, it's a bit of pressure. Bomb's still on the ground. Shank will go around and pick that up. Fire Giant picked up, and Lath, you're right. 4 non-enhanced Fire Giants going down in this game has to be a first for the OCL.
That is wild. The Searing Pain does secure that Fire Giant. Only in Season 10, folks, can we see a Fire Giant go down 4 times without being enhanced. That extra minute, I mean, that's 4 minutes quicker than it could have been done in previous seasons, to be fair, thanks to the fact that the Fire Giant does respawn at 4 minutes now.
Brett's going to put some pressure onto this right bird, as they have in the past. Hopefully it can go as well as they've hoped. Tilly pushing up this left lane, trying to counter a lot of what Juki's just done in that pushing up the left minions. Hopefully he can meet his team over in mid or at least in right, as they're looking to split the map here. Tilly in left, simply also looking at that left bird. Wax Python putting on the pressure, trying to defend his right Phoenix from the Threat boys. Simply, bit of a skirmish in mid.
Simply in half a mind there. I think he was considering going for the ultimate, but Tilly wasn't quite in range as Smelly Frenchman tries to get in the back line. BGF does well just to force him back out. And we've got to see a combo here. Oh, the Raw Dog Blink ultimate comes out. The Regurgitate, though, might be enough damage. Never mind. Simply gets the kill. Oh. Searing Pain, I think, what left him quite low, but the Phoenix does clean up. So that is both junglers down, and there is a Serpent. No, there's a cat chasing a chicken over in the left lane right now. BGF Middle Phoenix has respawned. Carter here to defend it. Probably not going to be enough, though. Oh, that's the Bomber. Hang on a second. Ultimate's traded. Smelly Frenchman doesn't quite have the damage. Decides just to go into that big baby, but he's decided to go through the entire enemy team to do it. Loses a lot of his health.
And man, I got to give it to the By Gravity Finance boys. The defense they've been able to put on these birds has been insane. We've still looking to put pressure on as Threat boys are low. Smelly Frenchman is very low. Shank saving him with his nice heals there, as Tilly putting on the pressure just in this little jungle path here. By Gravity Finance have done so well to defend these Phoenixes from the threats. I don't really know how they've done it, but they've done it. And it's going to lead to the first enhanced Fire Giant of this game.
Is this going to be 5 Fire Giants? How many Fire Giants can we see Threats take down in a single match? I am very intrigued to see this. You know, that lead, Abs, still only 10k. You know, 10,500 or so. But either way, it's been like that for about 10 minutes now. So it's pretty impressive to see BGF try to play the map back as Dookie regurgitates onto Tilly, but it's just not enough. But the Aegis used buys more than enough time. Chompy simply both in the area, turn that damage around. Actually, I don't even think Simply was there. I think it was just kind of Chompy and Shank.
I think that's what they needed to really kill the Bakashira. Juki just a little bit out of position in that jungle. I think they're going to be able to pick up this left bird now, as they still have Fire Giant for a few seconds. Wax Python Z putting on the pressure on the carry of the threats. Phoenix is starting to fall, but we do see Simply in that right lane. That right bird will fall as well.
And Smelly Frenchman is absolutely trying his luck here. Goes into the back line. The Colossal Fury nowhere near enough for him to survive as Chompy gets hit by the second knockup and the third knockup. He's on the cavalry charge though. Gets out of there, but hang on. Carter's super low on the back line. I think Tilly was just kind of running at him. Astral Barrage
has gone into the air. Tilly down.
Yeah, the Astral Barrage is enough to secure that kill as Simply's kind of messing around in the back line. He goes down to Weave too. That's a 3 solid kills towards BGF here as their Titan is under a bit of duress. I mean, that was all just a bait, right? Simply just went solo lane, everyone else went into threats. I think Smelly Frenchman maybe not on the same page. All he had to do really was just give Simply time just to take that right bird.
I think that's exactly what the Threat boys need to do. They need to let Simply, or at least anyone on their team, maybe do a 4-1 split onto one of these Phoenixes. Fire Giant being picked up by BGF, at least being started, as no one in the area from Threats. Fire Giant falling very low. We might see a mounted Valkyrie out from Hachiman. Chompy. Threats do steal the Fire Giant.
What has happened here? Rivers Rebuke comes out. Shank's got everyone trapped into this. He's got a fair bit of damage. I don't think we're going to see Shank fall down here. Oh my god, that's comical. Smelly Frenchman blinks into a Riptide and then walks back into the same Riptide again.
That is 5 Fire Giants for the Threat boys. Whacked Python Z jumping into the air, going to be able to get away from the boys. This is an OCL fiesta if we've ever seen one. 33 minutes into the game, 5 Fire Giants falling. A heist from the Threats, taking that right under the nose of BGF. So simple for the boys.
I have to know what stole it. Don't tell me it was a heavenly banner out of Chompy. Please don't say that that's what secured that Fire Giant.
We've seen worse, but hey, a banner is something that can be used to secure a Fire Giant. Nonetheless, Threats do pick it up. An EFG of this game, the first one. I really want to see these birds being pressured with this EFG. I want to see Threats put on the pressure to any of these birds that's going to come up. Even that right lane to start putting minions in, as they do pick up the Oni Fury. No worries. Starting to put pressure onto the base.
Yeah, Ward's coming out. Dookie has spotted... Oh, a really good blink from Simply. Just a 180 get out of dodge there. As that is the Regurgitate. That's a big, big ability on cooldown for BGF. We've seen how much work the Regurgitate has been doing so far for Dookie. It might be tough to defend the base here now that it's down.
I think a lot of people know that Bakashura is not particularly a character without Regurgitate. Simply taking up Geb into the air, Weave in a bit of strife as Rivers Rebuke has dropped pressure onto his left Phoenix.
Yeah, Simply just trying his best to get away now, but he's got a giant cat chasing him and the Astral Barrage coming out of Melbs. Melbs is the one who gets the kill. Wax stuck in a bit of an awkward spot here, and Shank just doing his absolute best to be a menace here. Melbs trying to deal a little bit of damage to get the Soul Laner out. Wax will survive. We're not too sure if the Phoenix will, though.
BGF really putting on the defense onto this left-hand side Phoenix. Oni minions have gone into the base to no avail. Massive defense again for BGF. This has been insane that they've been able to hold this left bird for nearly the entire game. As it might fall here. Hopefully, Weave rolling out into the team. Cataclysm comes out, Searing Pain right onto Juki as Regurgitate is also dropped.
Yeah, that was a lot of damage. The amount of cavalry comes out. Tilly cleans up another one, gets both Dookie and Weave as Wax trying to go into the backline here. Melb's attempting his best just to free cast, but they have noticed this and he's just kind of been abandoned there. Hang on.
Abandoned. Wax Button Z is jumping in as he goes into the sky. He dies! Just as he's about to land into that ultimate, but no. I am so surprised there's 3 birds on BGF still standing. I'm hoping, please God, that this left one is about to fall as Rivers drops, trapping.
Oh, that's tragic. That is tragic. Shank is just too good in this emoji. I cannot believe the kind of plays that he makes happen. And he is 5-0-17, and it looks like that will be game 1. Threats take it away from BGF, and what a fiesta we saw at the end there.
Was that 5 Fire Giants? I think it was 5.
That was 5 Fire Giants. One of them not rightly earned, but they still got it.
Hey, it's a heavenly banner steal, I hope. Look, I think Searing Pain was probably the winner of this game. The amount of kills that it was able to secure, Fire Giants it was able to secure. I'm surprised that Fire Giant went down more than the Phoenixes of BGF did. I can't believe that.
Yeah, it's no Fire Giant is safe in that match, holy, but a really interesting match to say the least. I mean, you can say what you want about who you think's the MVP. I cannot go past Shank. 5-0-17 on that Yamoja. Jeez, he makes it look easy, doesn't he?
I think he was able to put pressure on from minute 1 straight onto the second spawn of the purple buff, dropping it simply and being able to get away with it is criminal. And he did that, what, 2-3 times? So very simply as well as on this team, able to put on pressure many times into this game, translating it out of that left jungle into the mid, into Fire Giant many times. So well done for the boys of Threats. This has been a fantastic showing from them in their first indeed showing of OCL. So well done to the boys.
Yeah, simply doing his best to get me as many fantasy points as he can for my team. So I really appreciate that from him. Very decent game. I did enjoy watching the Naja Ra combo. It's always a pleasure to watch when two people really coordinate well on those picks. So I thought that it was a very good showing of synergy between Tilly and Simply this game.
I think so too. I want to give it to the boys of BGF. How well they were able to defend those Phoenixes still astounds me. That was 4 Fire Giants, at least 3 down to the boys of Threats, and BGF was still able to defend their Phoenixes through and through. And it's only until they all died in Left Phoenix Falls that the game ends. So Phoenix is being a real MVP. I also do want to give it to Melbs. He did do really well to bring it back that game. He had a lot of pressure on him the entire game from the pressure that Shank brought to that left lane. So being able to still do at least 32,000 damage on the Rama, very well done.
Yeah, well, I mean, after not getting a single purple buff for the entire game, essentially having Shank sitting over there with him for the first 20 minutes of the game, for him to come out and drop top damage, subbing into this team, very impressive. Very impressive showing from Melbs on the Ram. Unfortunately, Dookie didn't make the double-double. I was hoping that we would see it. Does take a couple extra spills over deaths, but very good showing from the Bakasura. I liked seeing his commitment. I liked seeing him just make a couple of heads-up plays, a couple of blink ults. Really did look like it was going to help get BGF into the game. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be, but he placed 28 wards. I don't know if he had a chalice. I wasn't looking at that. That is an impressive amount of wards, considering the fact that the rest of his team didn't place that many between them. I guess we did have 15.
I think he did have a war chalice. I'm not sure. I believe we might go to a cinematic or at least a video just